What's up? Today I'm going to go over kind of some setups for you. Today's main focus is catfish setups. Now I'm going to use 3 rods as a good example, but there's plenty of other good catfish setups for who you are and what you're fishing for, what kind of catfish you're fishing for, and where you're fishing. But this is kind of the basis of what I would use for where I fish and the big catfish that I catch. So we're going to start with this rod right here. So this rod still has the sticker on it. It is a ugly stick, catfish ink. The ugly stick walleye rod. Now, yeah, I mean, it's for walleye, but with 65-pound braid on it and a hook and a weight that size, you're absolutely fine. Now, I like the tight line with this rod because Shakespeare also, Shakespeare reel bait caster, but I like to keep this a tight line. Now, because if you don't really know your rods that well, the reason why you want to definitely go tight line on an ugly stick is because of this up here. So if we go to the top of the rod, this is a super light, flexible rod tip. So any weight put on this, you're gonna notice. Any like little tap, like any just whoop whoop like that. Anything. Ugly Stick is a very reliable brand. I have bass rods, I have bait casters, I have catfish rods, small rods, bait rods, everything you can imagine in an Ugly Stick variety because it's probably one of the best you can get for the money. I mean, not the best, but it's definitely reliable and will last you a very long time as long as you take good care of it. Now, that being said, there is a negative to this rod, though. When it's windy, if you have a little bit of wind, that rod tip moves like crazy up there. Because if you look at it, I mean, you know, even me jiggling it just a little bit gives it a lot of movement for a long time. Look, that's like, I'm not even touching it. It's still moving from me touching it. So that's kind of why, you know, it can be negative, but it's very strong. It bends, you know, it can take a big fish on, head on, with good line. This is 65-pound braid. This is 65-pound braid, and this will definitely help you out with a big cat. Okay, and then let's move over here. Now I had a video set up the other day for bass. Now, this is set up for bass right now, but it doesn't take much to change it over to a catfish rod. Take that off, put a hook like that on there, and go to town. You know, put a weight. Okay, now this braid is not nearly as heavy as the other 2 rods in front of you. This rod, or this is 20-pound braid. But let's be honest, you know, you're not often catching catfish over 20 pounds in most like rivers and places like that. At least a lot of people I know, you know, they're not always getting that much. So I think this would be good for like, you know, a guy that likes to go and catch little creek cats, little bull cats, blue cats, little channels, even little shovelheads. I mean, you know, 20 pounds is getting up there. So, you know, anything under 20, and even, I mean, let's be honest, you know, if you know how to use, I've caught, you know, like a 15-pound fish on 6-pound line. If you know how to fish and not, you know, go crazy, you'll still get it in. Just let it take what it wants. So that's that. Now, I'll be honest, Marshall uses more bait casters, kind of like this. Smaller kind of bait casters, but he actually does have that rod, that exact same one. We actually both have that same exact rod. But he uses a lot of rods like this for catfishing, and it is good because they're very lightweight. Like, this is such a light rod, so it's really nice to carry if you're, you know, if you're setting up a bunch of rods. And now, this is a Walmart rod right here. This is too, but this is a Walmart rod, very reliable. Everybody that catfishes knows the Big Game rod. Big Game Power series. It is a legendary rod for, you know, a Berkeley, just simple catfish rod, dude. And this, though, this is a Seahawk. Now, this was given to me by Marshall. He wasn't using it, and he just had it, so he put it on here. Now, I want to remind you that these do not come with reels. This rod, this Big Game rod, very strong, but does not come with a reel. So you have to find a reel that you would like to put on this if you get this at Walmart or something like that. But it's a very solid rod and reel combo right here. That is 65-pound braid on there, and we also got the same setup right here. Got the weight, the bead, and everything. Very tight. It probably could use changed. That's kind of old line, so it could definitely use probably a little change. Maybe pull some line out and put something new on there. And that's pretty much it. That's a basic good setup for some catfish rods, and there's plenty more options too. Now, I want to remind you guys that you need to go subscribe, because we are handing out this ugly stick at 750 subs. This rod can be yours. This rod at 750 subs can be yours. And we already discussed absolutely how strong this thing is. This thing isn't breaking. It's meant to last. This is like I said, if you put 50-pound braid on this thing, it would be funny, but you could catch an absolute hog monster catfish. It will reel it in. It will be fine. So go subscribe now to get this ugly stick dock runner for free, for a chance to get it for free. All right, guys, that is the video. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you have any input. See you in the next video.